All right, good afternoon. So we're doing a little bit more of this graph analysis. I guess that's what you could call it, where we're finding the turning points, relative max and mins, and intervals of increase and decrease. So you can move it that way so you might be able to see it a little better. So we're graphing x to the third power minus 5x squared plus 9. So there's no linear term here, no just regular x. All right, so I went to my y equal menu and typed that in. Then zoom, standard. All right, I'm actually going to adjust the window. All right, oh yeah, that's the graph. But so what I did here is I played with the window a little bit. So you see how there's a lot of no graph over here. It's like wasted space. And over here as well, there's a little wasted space there. And these are the x values. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the x minimum to about -5 right there, and the maximum to about 5. So I go to window, -5 for that. Well, let's leave it there. And then enter, and 5 for the x max. Enter. And I'm just going to leave the scale and the y min and max alone. Hit graph again. So you didn't actually have to do this step, but it does make it a little easier. And again, I do recommend you kind of draw a rough sketch of what the graph looks like. It doesn't have to be perfect like mine, but it's okay. It's best if you can draw a graph. All right, so turning points. So those are the x values from where it goes up to down. So that's going to be a turning point. And there's also a turning point. So here it's still going down right there. That's going to be my other turning point. All right, notice here it's to the third power, and there are 2 turning points. All right? There's a theorem out there somewhere that says for anything to the third power, it has at most 2 turning points. Right, so I'm going to find that one right there first. So calc menu. This is a maximum because it's a upwards hump. And I'm going to move my blinking dot to the left of it. Enter. Blinking dot to the right of it. Enter. And then for the guess, just enter again. All right, so it says -7.135 E. Now, anytime you see the E in a negative here, that kind of signifies 0 because it's this number. The E means times 10 to the -7th power. So you're moving it to the 0 to the left 7 times. So this is 0. And then the Y value there is 9. All right, so I'm going to label that 0, 9. So my turning point, one of my turning points is 0. All right, and that's actually my maximum, my relative maximum there, because it's up to down. So the maximum is just the Y value at the turning point. And then here we're going to find this will be a minimum. So go back to the calc menu, minimum. All right, and then we'll move that blinking dot anywhere to the left of that spot. So I could go there. I could have did it up here. And then we'll go to the right of it. All right, so we are to the right side of the dip. And there's our minimum, 3.33333 repeating. All right, so 3.334. I'm going to round it to 3 decimal places here. And then my Y value is going to be the same thing. I'm going to round it to 3. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little better. So it's going to be -9.519. All right, that was an 8, but the 5 makes it round up to a 9. So -9.519. Okay. And so my turning point is that x value. So it went from decreasing to increasing at that turning point, at that x value. So turning point is 3.334. And this is a relative minimum because it's the y value at a down to up turning point. So -9.519. 519. And then the interval of increase. All right, so remember this is all of the x values for which this function is increasing. So from here to the right, this function is going uphill. You know, as you move like 3.3 to say 4 or 5, as you're going to the right, this function is going uphill. Or you could say, oh, it's got like a positive slope, is what you could say. So it is increasing from 3.334 to infinity. All right, not because it's going up, but because it's everywhere to the right, it is going up. Everywhere to the right of that, it is increasing. It's going uphill. So it's all these x values after 3.3. But it's also increasing back here, you know, from that spot backwards. So from negative infinity until it gets right there, which is 0. These are always the turning points. So from negative infinity up until 0, it's also increasing there. And then if you wanted to describe this with the inequality or the algebraic notation, this would be all the x values that are greater than 3.334. And then this one would be all the x values that are this way. So this is negative infinity to 0. So all the x values that are less than 0. All right, and then decreasing. This function is decreasing from 0 to 3.3. All right, it was increasing on these two intervals, so it's going to be decreasing on the interval between them. All right, so I know it's going from 9 to negative 9, the y values, but when you're talking about these intervals, you have to use the x values, the turning points. So here it's going to be 0 to 3.334. All right, that's not a point, that's an interval. All the numbers from 0 to 3.3, this thing is going downhill. All right. For that interval notation, it would be 0 is less than x is less than 3.33. Right. I think that covers it for this one.